It was a routine training exercise. Red flag, the United States Air Force's premier aerial combat simulation, F-15 SF-16 SF/A-18S. The best of the fourth-generation fighters formed the Red Air Aggressor Force. Their mission was simple: defend the airspace. Opposing them was a small contingent of F-22 Raptors, the Blue Air Force. The Red Air pilots were confident. They were veterans, flying highly capable jets with powerful radars. They knew what to look for. But they saw nothing. Suddenly, their cockpit alarms screamed, missile launch warnings blared, one by one simulated shootdowns lit up their displays. The Raptors were ghosts, striking from nowhere and everywhere at once. The final tally? Over 100 Red Air fighters killed for 0 Raptor losses. This wasn't a fluke, it was a demonstration. It revealed a fundamental shift in air combat. The F-22 didn't just win, it changed the rules of the game. Stealth is the cornerstone of the F-22's power. It is what makes everything else possible. But Raptor stealth is not true invisibility. It is a highly engineered, multifaceted approach to drastically reducing detectability across the electromagnetic spectrum. This is achieved primarily through its shape. Every angle, every curve, every surface is meticulously designed to deflect radar waves away from the emitter, rather than reflecting them back. Leading edges aligned, trailing edges aligned, wings aligned, tail fins aligned. This technique, known as planform alignment, ensures reflected radar energy is concentrated in a few very narrow spikes, rather than a broad, easily detectable return. The second layer of the F-22's invisibility cloak is its skin. The jet is coated in a top-secret radar-absorbent material, or RAM. Specialized paint composite structures beneath it soak up radar energy like a sponge, converting it into a minute amount of heat. What little energy isn't deflected is absorbed by its skin, further diminishing its radar cross-section. If stealth is the F-22's cloak, its avionics are its brain and nervous system. The Raptor was one of the first aircraft to fully embrace the concept of sensor fusion. A modern fighter is packed with sensors: main radar, warning receiver, electronic support measures, suite data link for receiving information from other platforms like AWACS aircraft. In older jets, the pilot had to mentally process information from all these separate systems, displayed on different screens. It was a high-stress, high-workload task. The F-22's systems, however, do this work automatically. Information from all its onboard sensors, offboard sensors, is collected, correlated, and fused into a single intuitive picture of the battle space. The heart of this system is the AN/APG-77 Active Electronically Scanned Array Radar. Unlike older mechanically scanned radars that physically point a dish, the APG-77 uses thousands of tiny transmit and receive modules. It can scan vast volumes of sky almost instantaneously, track multiple targets in different directions, and perform electronic attack functions. It can operate in low probability of intercept. Speed has always been a critical element of air combat. The ability to dictate the range of an engagement, to run down a fleeing enemy, or to escape a dangerous situation. Most modern fighter jets can achieve supersonic speeds, but they must use their afterburners to do so. An afterburner injects raw fuel directly into the hot exhaust stream, creating a massive increase in thrust. But that comes at a tremendous cost. It consumes fuel at an astonishing rate. That drastically reduces range and combat persistence. It also creates an enormous infrared signature, a blazing torch, easily detectable by heat-seeking sensors, effectively negating stealth. The F-22 Raptor, however, possesses a rare and coveted capability: supercruise. Thanks to its 2 Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines, the Raptor can sustain supersonic flight at up to Mach 1.8 without afterburners. That is a game-changing advantage. It means the Raptor can transit to the combat zone faster, arrive with more fuel, and maintain high speed throughout an engagement without massive penalties. The F-119S produced more thrust without afterburner than many engines produce with it engaged, a testament to advanced design and thermodynamic efficiency. While the F-22 is designed to kill from beyond visual range, it is no slouch in a classic close-in dogfight. The Raptor combines a high thrust-to-weight ratio, large control surfaces, and an advanced flight control system to achieve remarkable agility. However, its trump card is two-dimensional thrust vectoring. The nozzles on its F-119 engines can pivot up and down by 20 degrees, allowing the pilot to direct the engine's massive thrust independently of the aircraft's aerodynamic controls. This gives the F-22 an incredible degree of control, especially at high angles of attack and low airspeeds, where traditional control surfaces like ailerons and rudders become less effective. It can perform maneuvers that are simply impossible for most conventional fighters. This thrust vectoring capability allows Raptor pilots to point the nose of the aircraft where they want it, even if the jet itself is flying in a different direction. This is known as post-stall maneuvering. A Raptor can, for instance, execute a Cobra maneuver, pitching up violently to over 90 degrees angle of attack, rapidly decelerating, allowing a pursuing aircraft to fly past. More importantly, it allows the pilot to point the jet's nose, and its gun, at an opponent to take a shot from an unconventional attitude. When evaluating the F-22, it's essential to compare it to its contemporaries. Russia's Sukhoi Su-57 fell in China's Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon. Both are marketed as fifth-generation rivals to the Raptor. The Su-57 is a highly maneuverable aircraft featuring three-dimensional thrust vectoring that theoretically gives it an edge in raw agility. However, expert analysis suggests its stealth capabilities are significantly compromised. Its engine inlets lack the serpentine ducts of the F-22, leaving the turbine blades exposed to radar. Its overall build quality and panel gaps also appear to fall short of the precision needed for true, all-aspect, very low observable performance. China's J-20 presents a different kind of challenge. It is a large, long-range aircraft with a clear emphasis on frontal aspect stealth. Its design appears optimized for long-distance, high-speed intercept missions, likely targeting key assets like tanker AWACS aircraft. Its stealth shaping is more refined than the Su-57's, but it's still considered less advanced than the F-22's all-aspect design. Early models were powered by Russian engines, limiting their performance and preventing supercruise. Flying the F-22 is not like flying any other fighter. The aircraft is so capable that the limiting factor is often the pilot's ability to process information and make tactical decisions at the speed of battle. For this reason, the training pipeline for F-22 pilots is arguably the most demanding in the world. It begins with selecting only the best and most experienced pilots from other fighter communities. Typically the F-15C, which shares the air superiority mission. These are already elite aviators with hundreds if not thousands of hours of flight time. They are then sent to Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida, for a grueling transition course known as the B course. The training curriculum focuses heavily on exploiting the Raptor's unique advantages. Pilots spend an enormous amount of time in advanced simulators, learning to manage the flood of information from the jet's fused sensors. They practice identifying targets, sorting targets, and prioritizing targets in a dense electronic environment, all while managing their own jet's signature. They learn to think in terms of information dominance, not just aerial maneuvering. The mantra is first look, first shot, first kill. They are trained to be hunters, using the Raptor's stealth and sensor reach to orchestrate the battle from a position of overwhelming advantage. Close-in dogfighting is practiced, but it is treated as a contingency, not the primary objective. Once qualified, Raptor pilots engage in constant high-end training to maintain their edge. Decades after its first flight, the F-22 Raptor remains the undisputed king of air-to-air combat. Its continued dominance is not the result of any single feature, but the masterful synergy of all its capabilities. Extreme stealth supercruise capability, revolutionary sensor fusion, breathtaking agility. An adversary might try to counter one of these aspects, but countering all of them simultaneously is a task that no current or near-future fighter appears capable of achieving. The Raptor was built with no compromises for the air superiority mission, a design purity that its multi-role competitors cannot match. The production line may be closed, but the F-22 is far from a static design. The United States Air Force has continuously invested in a series of upgrades to keep the Raptor ahead of emerging threats. Radar enhancements, electronic warfare suite ability to integrate new weapons, AIM-9X, AIM-120D variants. There is ongoing work to improve its data link capabilities to better communicate with F-35S and other assets. This incremental modernization ensures that while the airframe may be 2 decades old, its combat systems remain on the cutting edge. For the foreseeable future, when it comes to guaranteeing control of the skies, the F-22 Raptor sits alone on an uncontested throne.